Today is International Women's Day, and you know it's important to focus on what we can do as women to help empower other women. You know, I think about my own mother, and she started out as a reporter back in 1967 as a reporter at the Daily Telegraph in London. And she said to me, they offered her a job on the women's page, the fashion page, because that was the only thing you could do if you were a woman who got a job at the Daily Telegraph in London in 1967. And obviously, we as women have come so far from days like that. And it's to my mom and women of her generation that we have to thank for all the opportunities they've provided us. But clearly, women are still in a very challenging spot. And we've learned, certainly over the last couple of years, how challenging, in fact, that has been at our own network, out in Hollywood, in tech companies. And so I thought this was a good and appropriate opportunity for me to gather some of the most powerful women here at Fox Business to talk about what we need to do to make sure that women get access to every opportunity and they have every chance to be successful. I certainly want to know that my own daughters will be able to achieve whatever it is they want, regardless of gender. They should never experience harassment or any kind of glass ceiling, so to speak. I think we're getting there, but there's a lot to do. Here on set, joining me for this discussion, we have Jerry Willis, Deirdre Bolton, and Suzanne O'Halloran, who is the managing editor of FoxBusiness.com. It's good to see you guys, and thank you for being here. Suzanne, I'm going to start with you because you have a lot of young women that work on your team, and I know that you've been a big proponent of them. I know one in particular that used to work on my team, and she wanted to be a reporter, and we encouraged her to go over and work with you. And it's great to see what you're doing to inspire them and to help them. Tell us about it.
That's right. So I think, Brittany, we're talking about Daria, a great, talented young woman. Listen, no assignments off limits. You want to come to my team, you want to learn how to report, write, go for it. I don't want to hold anyone back, and I don't think anyone should be held back ever in the workplace. But I will say, you got to work hard, you got to be focused, you got to come in with good pitches, and the opportunities will be there. When we've learned about some other companies and our company here, we just want to make sure those opportunities are here and available to everybody.
In other words, you want a meritocracy. I mean, Deirdre, isn't that what every workplace should be? Whoever is the best, whoever is the most successful at what they're doing, the most ambitious and wants to put the effort in.
The most motivated, the most willing to hustle. I love that picture of your mom, by the way. She was very glam. I can understand, even in today's standards, why she would have been nominated or encouraged to go fashion, but I'm sure she's brainy as well, based on her daughter. I actually just want to talk about money, right? Because this is at least one way that we can measure how far we've come. And I was looking through a report, Boston Consulting Group, saying that women as of 2015 had about 28% of the global wealth. And by 2020, that number is going to go up to 32%. And one thing to keep in mind for the U.S. is only 10% of money managers are actually women. And so there are a lot of reports. Consultancy firms are spending a lot of money trying to figure out how to talk to women about money and about measuring risk. They say that actually women perceive risk sometimes better in the marketplace than the average male, even professional people. We've seen it through hedge funds, through the credit crisis. So the gap is actually closing to the point. It is just closing slowly.
You mentioned how women see things sometimes differently within the financial space. I mean, that, once again, I think speaks to the importance of diversity in a workplace, right? Because you can't have everybody,
right?
Yeah, who's thinking the same way. And whether it's in finance, whether it's in news, whether it's in tech, you need that diversity of opinion, Jerry, right? I mean, it's that right. That's how you come up with, I think, the best solutions, the best stories, the most aggressive company.
Right. And so to do that, young women have to speak up and speak out. And so we have to find ways to get them to do that, right? You know, I was looking at the picture of your mother, too, just like Deirdre was. When my first job, one of my first jobs in journalism at a newspaper, I was told I could have the education beat, but not the business beat, because that just seemed natural to the male managing editor, that's what I would want to do. But I finally talked him into getting me on the business beat, and that started me on the road to where I am today. But look, if you're talking about young women in the workplace, getting them to speak out, asking for what they want, asking for the assignment that they want, I think they have to see strong women in the workplace doing it. And by that, I don't mean a coffee sometime where you sit down and chat. I mean seeing them talk to men below them, above them, working, leading a meeting. Because once you see a woman, another woman, doing those kinds of things, you begin to imagine yourself doing it yourself.
Yeah, no, I do think that's important. I mean, we need role models, right? I think my mother, for me, was a role model. I used to go out when she was a reporter for the Boston Globe and be on stories with her as a little kid. So I saw that I had something to look up to. I hope that I'm a role model for all three of my kids. But even in the workplace, I mean, I lead a team, and actually, we've got mostly women on our team. Go Intel. And, you know, I want them to know, and they're obviously in a different space than me as producers rather than on camera, but they need to know that there is someone there that is looking out for them and wants to promote them and wants to see them succeed, because we're in this together.
We're in this together. And just one of the things that has started here, which I think is great, is networking informal, a breakfast with women from other units. It might be finance, or it could be media relations, or it could be another area. It's good to get to know your colleagues and hear their stories and how they got to where they are today.
Or even benefit from someone else's area of expertise, right? And I think that cross kind of breeding of the idea of being in a different, as you said, these different departments leads to kind of more mentorship responsibilities and commitments happening.
But it's also encouraging young women to take risks, because I think sometimes young women are less willing to take the kinds of risks that are needed to really step up and get that corner office suite, right? You need to be able to plan ahead, to see around the corner, and they need to be encouraged to do that. I think it's on, you know, that, look, the legal framework is in place, right? Where the laws are there, it's up to us now to help other women do it.
Right, you just want the same opportunities that your male counterpart would have. And I always tell women or young women that are in the field, if they say, oh, you know, so-and-so told me I'm really not good at that, I'll say, who cares? Just keep focusing, plow ahead, get better at what you're not good at right now, and don't listen to don't let negative criticism hold you back.
And it's good advice. I mean, as you were able to get into the business sphere instead of the education sector because you had that determination. And we want to make sure that every young woman coming up through the ranks has that opportunity as well. Anyway, I'm glad that we were able to do this. Thank you. It's good.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Good discussion. And also one thing, CEOs on Wall Street. You know, we need to see more. We need to see more CEOs in the workplace, and just a couple of names being floated out. Jamie Dimon, potentially his replacement. Down the road, Marianne Lake, his CFO, has been floated out there. It's good to see those stories starting to get more coverage as well.
You're right. I mean, it's the ratio of women to men as CEOs or on board of directors is extremely small. I mean, there's very few women that are in those positions. So I agree with you. As we see more and more women, and I think we will. I think the time indeed is now. So thank you.